Hello, good morning from an absolutely beautiful day here at Borth Beach. If you've never been, I must admit this is a bit of a wet dream for long exposure photographers. That's what I've come here to do today, is do some long exposures. So I'm sitting down for my first one. The tide is in. I think high tide is due to be about now. So I'm quickly, you can probably hear all the waves crashing around me now, so I'm quickly going to have a look at this little setup here. So we've got the pebbles in the foreground, but we've also got this lovely sort of, I don't know what it is, it's an old jetty, but the colours in it are really, really nice. Lots of textures and angles. Due to the brightness today, we're going for some big long exposures, some big numbers. We have the opportunities. There's a big wave coming in here. So my plan is the pebbles in the front drawing out into the wreckage of the old jetty and then fading out into nothing. So almost sort of like a half minimalist sort of post. Hopefully that's going to work out. We're going to be working with the 15 stop filter, 15 stop ND grad today. 15 stop big stopper today. Again, I'm getting distracted by all the nice scenes around here and everything. So it's a really cool beach. We'll set up the camera now and I'll run through the basics of what you need to do if you are doing really long exposures, particularly in such bright conditions. Normally people wouldn't even really bother doing photos on a day like this. But you can convert to black and white. You can get all the shapes that are going on in the water, and we can even do a little bit of horizon blending as well, if that lends to it, because there's no clouds, there's going to be no streaks, it's pure blue. Hopefully you can hear me from this, so let's just give this a go anyway and see what happens. So as I mentioned, we're working with 15 stops. We've got this lovely little spot. We've got it all lined up. I am going to use a polarizer. So we've got the little polarizer set up. I'm going to stick it on because we want to make sure that, well, we don't want to make sure, it's just personal preference. What we want to do is get a nice little blend of reflections removed. And as you can see, some glare off the water as well. So that's quite nice there. So that's lovely. So where's me little 15 stop filter? Golden rule of photography, no matter where you put it down, you end up losing the damn things. Right, here we go, boosh. So we've got the Lee Super Stopper, 15 stops. We're gonna slide that into the front cover as well now. First of all, actually, no, I forgot to point out a very important thing. What you need to do is take a sample shot first of all, because you need to get your exposure time for a standard shot to calculate your long exposure shot. So in this instance, if we look through, we're getting f11, ISO 320, around 200th of a second. When the water comes in, it's changing a little bit, but I think 200th, of a second is absolutely fine. So we've taken our sample shot, 200th of a second. Now we're going to slide in our filter in, nice and simple. Make sure the gasket is sealing the entire area, because if not, you're going to get light leaks. And whilst we're on the subject of light leaks, you need to cover your eyepiece, because particularly today, the sun is behind me, you're going to get light shooting through there. The D850's got a little curtain on it that you can shut it. Happy days. At 200ths of a second, our calculator is showing us to be at 15 stops, 2 minutes, 43 seconds. I like to add a little bit on because light can change a little bit. When you're working with 15 stops, I personally find it a little bit better to shoot over, so maybe add an extra 30 seconds or so onto that, purely because you can dial it back quite easy when you're in Lightroom or Photoshop. Bringing it up from a darker, underexposed photo is a lot more difficult. You get more detail if you, it's like exposing to the right, I suppose. Anyway, so we're going to dial in, what did I say? Like I said, I use a calculator. Some people know how to calculate this in their head. Numbers make me go grey in the brain. It is what it is. Work with what we've got technology. So 1/200th a second, 15 stops, 2 minutes 43. So I've got typed in, or dialed in, 3 minutes 30, bulb mode, everything covered, no turning back, let's go. Okay, so we got that one set up, quite happy with it, hope you like it too. We're going to head off down the beach a little bit now because there's loads and loads of coastal defences that they put in. They're sort of like big boulders and they've got the green posts out at sea and everything. There's one up there in a sort of a V shape, I don't know if we can get anything cool with that, so I brought my wide angle. Let's have a look and see what we can take up there. So I've walked up the beach a little bit further to have a look at these coastal defences. And they're really quite cool, so I don't know if you can make these out here. They're quite large though, so fitting them in with a wide angle was a little bit adventurous. Didn't quite work really, so I'm going to phase that, but I quite like this line here. So you've got the lines of the rocks crossed in the front and the bottom half. Got a little bit of wispy cloud coming in, it'd be nice if that moved in. Then we've got that little green post out in the water there, so with the 15 stops, hopefully we can get a nice minimalist shot going on as well. And I probably will be blending in that horizon and moving that headland there just to draw attention to everything that's in the foreground here. Right, so we're framed up nice. We can have a look at the test shot to see what we're coming in at. So ISO 320 f11, that's quite fast. We might be able to drop that down a little bit. So it's coming in at 1,250th of a second. If I drop that now down to ISO 64, we're getting roughly the same exposure time, 250th of a second, which is going to give us that 3.5 minutes as well. So happy with that. We're going to get the 15 stop in. Very naughty, keeping it in my pocket. But there we are. So in it goes. Connect up our remote. Lock up our shutter. And away we go. Let's see what we can do. While we're waiting for that 3.5 minutes now, we'll talk about Borth a little bit because it's really quite interesting. Like I said, there's loads and loads of these sea defences that are going along, but one of the most interesting things that is missing today because it's underwater is that about 10, 12, 15 years ago, a big storm came in, moved all the sand around and uncovered a petrified forest. It's really quite cool. So if you get a chance to come down here, come and have a look. It's quite bizarre. You walk along the beach and there's all these tree trunks and roots in the sand. Apparently they've been dated to 4,500 years old, which I think is pretty special. Come to this little beach up the road from Aberystwyth and it's got this really ancient sort of woodland, or what was a woodland, underneath. I suppose we're getting a bit of woodland and coastal today. On my way back this afternoon, the tide should be out. I'll pop down with the camera and we'll see if we can get some information and footage and just show you what it's all like down here, because if you're in the area, it is definitely worth a visit. Really easy to get to, single road, you're parked on the beach, it takes about 10 seconds to walk from the car to the beach, and that isn't an exaggeration, it really is that simple. Anyway, get yourself down here and have a look. Okay, so that's the couple of long exposures I was hoping to do here today. We're going to have a walk along the beach, go up the coast and see what else we can find. If you find yourself in the area, I highly recommend coming up to the Dyfi Nature Reserve. It's absolutely fantastic up here. Get to park on the beach, £4 parking, and then you can have a nice walk around the area. It's absolutely like being on a desert island almost. It's absolutely, some of the textures in the sand, there's birds, there's wildlife, it's absolutely fantastic. No footprints around. It's absolutely stunning. highly recommended. Get some good shots here now. The views here at the Nature Reserve are absolutely fantastic. Fair play. Obviously there's elements of danger around here. No swimming. I think it's a protected area at the top as well for plover. There are signs in the local area. But some awesome sand dunes, grasses, plants. Maybe some wildlife again in the warmer months. But definitely take a day out of your photography if you're in the area and have a little look around here. Well worth it. Right, so we're back at Borth Beach now after a lovely walk up in the Nature Reserve. So I'm hoping that some of the... I'm hoping that some of the petrified wood is actually going to start showing. I think one of them is showing there. We've probably got about another hour before they all come out, and we can hopefully give you a good show. In the meantime, let's crack on with some photos. I'll quickly set up here now while waiting for the tide to recede some more for these stumps. I think one is actually just down on the bottom left there. I'm taking a photo of that. We're doing a long exposure, just killing some time to a degree, but these rocks are nice, as you can see. So what I'm doing is ND grad on the front to try and tame the sky a little bit. 15 stop ND filter as well. That's going to smooth all this water out hopefully here. Hopefully I haven't been standing in front of it while talking to you guys. 24 to 70, 3.5 minutes like earlier, pretty much the same settings. The stock shot was 200th of a second, give or take. It changes slightly with the water coming in. But let's see what we've got there. After that then, this tide is going to slowly start retreating. And hopefully these petrified wood is going to open up as well. There are loads of stumps all across here. They're quite impressive. I saw them yesterday. Was it yesterday? The day before? Either way, it doesn't matter. And at first you think, oh, is that a rock? Is it a funny shaped rock? Then you see these really cool tree stumps that are definitely trees and roots. It's really quite bizarre to look at, to think that this was once a woodland where people lived and thrived, and whatever they did here, who knows? 4,500 years ago. Check it out on the internet. Quite interesting. Anyway, look at this water seeping in here. Should make a nice shot. While we're waiting as well, a good tip when you're at the beach, something I just didn't do, and this ended up costing me that one shot. Push your tripod into the sand as much as you can. You've got all this weight on top of it. It's going to slowly push down over 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, however long you're doing it for, and you're going to end up getting movement in your camera. So just give it a good push down into the floor. Can we get down there? Push them in. Don't break your tripod, just push them in. So that the minimal movement, particularly when the water's coming in rushing around your feet, is going to cause sinkage. Technical term there, sinkage. But it can ruin that shot. Anyway, trying another one now. Hopefully this one will come out nice and sharp. Let's have a look. Trunks are coming out now. I don't know if you can see that. You can even see all the rings in the tree and everything. It's really quite cool. A few more over there as well. I think I'm going to go over the other side of the beach and see what we can find, because I think there's some bigger ones up there. Well, that's my day at the beach at an end now, so I'm nipping back home and I'm going to have a go at these photos and wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching and being part of it. If you like what you've seen, please drop a like, comment and subscribe. And I'd love to hear on what you've got to say. Thank you very much. Bye.